disclose an initiation fee or an assessment in the initial disclosure, they're on the hook for it at closing if something does come back on the HOA letter. But what happened in this situation was about a week before the closing, the buyer found out, I think through the lender, that there was something there. Now there's a week there that the seller could have maybe tried to correct that, but it doesn't work like that. So I'm going to read the important part right here out of the disclosure. This is the seller warranty. This is why it's always very, very important when you have a seller, when you have an HOA, to make sure you double check and know what the story is on the assessments. It says the seller warrants that the seller has accurately and fully disclosed all transfer and initiation fees and special assessments to the buyer. If any of the fees or assessments referenced herein are not disclosed or increased from what is initially disclosed to the buyer above, then such increases shall be paid by the seller. So that means that the first time you write this, the initial disclosure, if you find out the next day that the seller says, oh my gosh, you know what, there is an assessment, there is something, it's too late. So that initial assessment, you cannot go back and fix that. The initial disclosure the seller gives is putting your seller on the hook for what the story really is. So it can be a lot of money. So it's something to double check when there's an HOA on your listings. That's all I've got for you.
So what's the remedy, Charlie? The seller can refuse to pay. The buyer can get out of the contract and get his earnest money back.
Yeah.
Can't force the seller to pay.
If you close, the seller's paying. There's really no way around it unless there's some sort of amendment.
What about if the seller disclosed that the HOA fees were incorrect, and then you have an HOA, it's actually a seller that's not responding, and the closing letter comes back after diligence that the HOA fees actually more than you thought it was? Is there any remedy there?
The seller's got to pay for it.
Yeah. But just for that month, right? Like the HOA fee.
Well, it's really, the thing that really catches, it's really initiation fees is the sticker. Because a lot of times it happens where people have been in the community for a long time, and maybe when they forgot there was one, or there wasn't one when they bought one, and things have changed. That's happened a lot. But that's why it's always good to double check and make sure that your seller, as a listing agent, your seller has to contact the company to make sure they know what the story is.
So on the buyer side, if the HOA fee though is saying they say it's $400, but you get
like the monthly?
Yeah, and you get it back and it's $500. Is that remedy for the buyer?
The monthly is doesn't get
okay.
That first month may fall on this, but going forward, no. It's more about the assessments, the big ticket items at the onset there.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Hey Charlie, I have a situation right now.
Speak up so we can all hear you.
So I have a situation now where my seller has contacted the HOA to get the fees, and the HOA said that they're not party to the contract and they refuse to give any information. And so my seller doesn't have that information.
Well, that's kind of a cop-out. I mean, if someone is paying, I think the only thing that's a bad answer for them to give, obviously. But if I was them, I would contact the president of the HOA. Maybe that person can push the button.
She contacted the president and referred her back to the cross-community company. And so they are telling her she should pay for a condo questionnaire.
Well, you do have to
get the answers that she wants.
Well, on the condo questionnaire, that is a fee, and usually the buyer pays for that to have happen.
Which is not on the contract.
What you could do for that though is to have the seller pay for it to get the answer, and then get reimbursed at the closing for it, because it is a buyer fee on there. So, but I would prepay for it so you don't get stuck with some this disclosure right here that I just talked about. All right, thanks guys.
Alrighty, thank you, Charlie. Supreme, come on down.
We got a seat up front if anybody needs it.
Got two.
Yeah, I got one here too.
Morning.
Morning.
Big checks today.
I'm Kenzie.
I'm Scott Meldrum.
I'm Justin Messer.
Kim Neely.
Take it away. Adi. Adi and I had a closing last week.
I was wondering.
He's on our team now.
Welcome
what do I need to know?
Surprise!
Surprise!
I mean Supreme. So I called Scott a couple weeks ago and I said, Scott, you gotta save me. And he said, let me take a look. And I said, listen, Scott, I will give you, I'll give Peachtree Road Cares $100 if you can get this deal closed. And he said, let me take a look. I'm not going to commit to anything before I take a look. He said, I think we can close it. He said, when do you need to close by? I said, September 13th. And he said, Well, long story short, Friday we closed. So do the math. That was 2 weeks early on a rushed closing. He got everybody closed, and I got the clear to close. This was a big sign for me. Where did I get the clear to close? I was at the bank. So I said to the teller, I needed an extra $100 in order to pay my thing. So my check's a little bit smaller. But, that's right. The cash is king. So here you go. $100 to KW Peachtree Road Cares.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Awesome.
And I didn't join the Supreme Team.
We can't afford you, man.
I'm a big fan. Thank you.
Awesome.
I just want to say thank you for everyone who supported us. I had a record-breaking month last month, so and that's due to mostly this office, so I really appreciate it. If you haven't tried using us, please give us a shot. We'd love to show you what we can do. So give us a call. All four of us, we're always available. So thanks so much.
And we welcome Justin back to the team.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
He's got a little baby girl.
Baby girl.
Right. And she is
3 weeks.
My
My math is a little fuzzy now. Slowly coming back to me.
Yes, welcome back to the group.
Thank you, appreciate it. Next week
What's
on
her name? They want to know.
her name is Mariana. Yes. My wife's Brazilian, so I had to have a Latin name, and hopefully she looks like her, not me. It just wouldn't fit. Yeah, we're very, very blessed and very excited. I'm just happy to be back and kind of get back in the swing of things and be on a normal routine. Minus the every 2 hours, 3 hours meeting, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m. But anyway, we're happy about it. Right quick, next week on Tuesday at 12:30 doing a lunch and learn, and going to be teaching leveraged events. And essentially leveraged event is anytime you have potential customers or referral partners that you can meet with, it's more than one person. I mean, it can be a happy hour, it can be a client event, it can be a class, it can be a party, it can be a dinner, it can be anything that you're maximizing your time. And I'm going to show you really the best tips and tricks and best practices on having these events. Because a lot of times what someone might do is host a class or have an event, but then they drop the ball in the follow-up. So the follow-up is always the key to everything. So we're going to go run through everything. So it's essentially a class on how to hold a class. So please come. Lunch will be provided. It's at 12:30 to 2, and look forward to seeing you guys there.
And then tomorrow we have our appraisal CE. And you may think, well, I've been to some of the appraisal classes that they've had, and they've been great. This one is going to be totally different. Scott Murphy is going to do a field trip with us. So we're going to meet at one of Emily Freeman's listings in Peachtree Hills.
Big fancy house.
$1.2 million, 6-bedroom home. And he's going to literally walk us through the entire house and show how they come up with the valuations and what's the difference between a bedroom and a basement and what's the difference between an above ground one. And literally take us through the property in order to determine what adjustments they would make and what comps they would select. So you'll be right there firsthand learning. There is a sign-up sheet, and I know Cayla and Lexi sent it out, so please do sign up. We're going to meet there at 11:30 and provide Panera for lunch. And then the CE will be 12:30 to 3:30. So I think you're going to love it. It seems like it's going to be very important. And it'll help you when you're describing things to your buyers and your sellers to know, well, how'd you come up with that valuation? So please sign up and join us tomorrow. We'd love to have everybody.
Thank you, Supreme.
Thanks, guys.
So we have a special guest on the line. Can we see him? Brett, you there?
I'm here. Are y'all there?
Hi, Brett.
How are you?
I'm told I have to stand over here so you can see me. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Here's the crowd, though. So, Brett, hey.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Sure. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, so my name's Brett Caldwell. I'm the Executive Leadership Director with the Southeast Region. It's my honor to be joining you guys this morning. I'm just zooming in for just a few minutes to talk to you guys about the Mega Agent Day that's coming. Is everybody aware on October 16th we've got Mega Agent Day at the Georgia Aquarium?
Yes. Please say yes.
Good. So we're flying in 20 huge producers from around the country. Altogether, they're over 2 billion in volume, which is an instrumental amount of volume to just put all on one stage at one time. So we're excited. But I want to take you through a little exercise real quick. So if you don't mind, grab pen and paper and number your paper 1, 2, 3. Second. I'm gonna ask you some questions and ask you to write down something. So for number 1, I want you to take a minute and I want you to ask yourself, what is my think big goal for 2020? What is your thinking big goal for 2020? You know, after Labor Day, it's okay to start talking about the next year. So we just barely made it. But what is your think big goal for 2020? Go ahead and write it down. Now, look at that goal and ask yourself the question, is that really thinking big? And maybe you need to scratch it out, write it bigger. I don't know, I can't see your papers, but the think big goal for 2020. Everybody got it? All right, number 2, what is the one thing that if you implemented it into your business, it would cause you to just blow through that goal you wrote down in number 1? So what's the one thing that if you implemented it into your business, it would cause you just to blow through your 2020 goal? What's that one thing? I got deep thinker in the first row over here. See her hand on her head. All right, number 3. Who do you look up to and model your business after? Number 3 is, who do you look up to and model your business after? See, I believe we don't naturally think big enough sometimes, and I want to give you permission to crush your 2020 goal. I believe the answers to what you're looking for will be at this event on October 16th, while you're still finishing strong for 2019. A fun quote by a lady named Kathy Smith says, "Your choices today determine your tomorrow, and you make your life through the power of choice." So obviously we choose to make good choices, but we're all on our own individual journeys. And I hope this is a choice you make because I know that the power it can bring to you and your business. So I want to challenge you to do something with me real quick. If you don't mind, stand up. Stand up here. So I want you to stand with confidence. Show me your confidence. Stand tall, stand in confidence, act as if you've already accomplished that goal on your paper for 2020. I want to see some swagger. I don't see any swagger. I'm out in the front row, I'm watching you. October 16th at the aquarium. As of this morning, there's only 15 VIP tickets left. We're already over halfway sold out on the event. I believe it's going to sell out, so don't wait. Thank you for having me. Dory and Cara and the team can help you get registered. Thank you so much.
Thanks, So Mega Agent Day is October 16th, Wednesday. We will not have team meeting that day, so you might as well come to the aquarium. And your list of speakers, excuse me, is endless. Who's signed up already? Awesome. Any thoughts about it? Questions? Reagan.
Well, I'm excited to learn from these guys. I mean, they're amazing. And me and Peter's team's up there.
Right.
And who else? There was a couple other people I recognized.
Justin.
Yep, you got Justin Landis, you've got Brady Sandow coming in from Palm Springs. So those of you that actually were at the team meeting that we beamed him in, if you want to meet him up close and personal, he will be there. Lance Logan and Karina will be there. I mean, there are tons of people that if you got one thing from each of them, what would your business look like next year? We're talking $2 billion in sales. There's something somebody's going to say that's going to spark a light bulb to go off that you're going to say, that is easy. I could do that and turn your business around like in lightning speed. So I hope you all see how serious the region is to bring in people of value to pour into you. This is kind of a no-brainer to me. Put it in that marketing plan of yours. Hopefully you have a little bit of miscellaneous budget so you can afford to go to this. This is an awesome event to go to, so I hope you really will consider that. And we'll send out the link to that again today. All right, what else we got? Okay, so you will see probably in the NCA area this jar for Cure Childhood Cancer. Kelly Marsh asked us to put this in the market center. She does it every year. So just so you know, Coins for Cure. So if you have some coins or some dollar bills in your purse, pocket, whatever, and like to help cure cancer for childhood diseases, this will be in the MSA office.
Dory, do you want to pass it around so we can?
Sure, that's a great idea. Thanks, Jenna. Roll call. Yes. Yes, ma'am, go.
Yes, so I know you guys are all excited about the switch over to the command with all of your compliance deals. I see some smiling faces in the audience. I just want you guys to know. Yes. I want you guys to know that there are live streams happening daily, every single day to get you prepped and prepared for the new command switch. So if you go to KW Connect /page /live streams, or just go to KW Connect and under the resources tab, you'll click live. You can have the schedule of all the live streams happening. Today we've got contact setup and then command for leadership. One that you really want to look out for is on tomorrow, prep to get paid, the command compliance and commissions live stream. We'll be streaming that live in this room if you want to come join us and watch. But that will get you loaded and locked and ready to go in command so that you're understanding what you guys are doing.
So it'll be at 4 p.m. if it's 3 p.m.
Yes, if it's 3 p.m. Central Time, it's 4 p.m. here. Yes, and we'll be talking more about command today, so get your questions prepped and ready.
Any questions about that? Good? Okay. What else we have? Alrighty, so mark your calendars. On Tuesday, September 17th from 12:30 to 2, we're going to have our team meeting because Bold is in the room on Wednesday. And so we're bringing in Hogan Copeland, who has been in the real estate sector for over 30 years. And I was introduced to him with Richie Torrance. He is working on a nonprofit with him, and I had the opportunity with Aaron yesterday to speak with him. And I just happened to ask him last time I talked to him, hey, would you come into the market center and speak about the overview of the market and what you see happening in overinflated markets? Thinking for sure he was going to say, I'm way too busy, because he's in DC all the time. So this guy knows what's happening. He has delved into the deep recesses of the market on a level that I don't know that we've ever looked at. And he surprisingly said, sure, I'll let you know when I'm going to be in Atlanta. So he is going to be in Atlanta that week, and so don't miss it. Into understanding the real estate market, overheaded market, and how regulators look at real estate. So remember, it's Tuesday the 17th, not Wednesday.
I think you meant overheated market.
Thank. What did I say?
He said overheaded.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Cara.
Hi guys, if I haven't had a chance to meet you, my name is Cara Epstein. I'm your assistant team leader and director of productivity for the Market Center. So today we want to recognize an agent who won not just one part of the contest we had for our coaching program, however, both parts of the contest. So Vince, can you go ahead and stand up? Both pieces of this. The first piece was whoever had the most number of buyer appointments in BBAs. Vince logged 10 of those into core, and he also had the most number of under contract buyers. So a really big round of applause to you. And this month, we are going to be focusing on listings. So August was all about buyers, this month is listings. And we will be looking at the same metrics. So if you're in the coaching program, thinking of getting in the coaching program, make sure you're logging your numbers into core. And if you have any questions, come speak to me or our head productivity coach, Case. And we're here to help you. Great job, Vince.
Good job. Dana, come on down. Real quick.
Hey, Dana Eisenberg. I'm here to help you with your marketing needs, and I invite you all to stay after. We're going to be talking about marketing and budgeting since we're headed into the third quarter, and we'll be working on 2020. So hope you can stay, and we'll talk about marketing and budgeting.
Thank you. Does everybody know that we have in-house marketing in the Market Center now? Are we sleeping? You may unmute yourselves. Do you know Dana is our in-house marketing expert with Epic Agents. Her office is a cubby right in the front, right across from the Barnes Young team. So if you need to speak with her, she is here to speak to you about marketing. Cara.
All right, everyone, take out your phones. We're going to do this fairly quickly. This is also on the calendar, and it'll be printed up at the front. So just want to highlight a couple of these classes, because as you can see, we have a very full month. So as our amazing lender Supreme said, we do have an off-site CE appraisal class tomorrow. This is the first time we've actually ever done this, so I would highly encourage that you take advantage of it, because there is a cap to it. So check the link that was sent out. We also have classes coming up on Saturdays for the next 8 weeks. So if you are a dual career, or if you'd like to come and take advantage when you can't be here during the week, please look at our Saturday classes. We have a listing presentation coming up next Wednesday. So we'll be talking about team meeting schedule, and what we're looking to do is bring in a listing presentation agent, right? Someone to come in every other week to give you a live version of their presentation. You'll also notice towards the end of the month that we have a listing boot camp to follow Doug Grayson's buyers boot camp. And then for those of you that missed it, we will replay the buyers boot camp starting at the end of the month. That's about it.
Any questions? Ignite starts tomorrow night, so if you're a new agent, you have not signed up, talk to Lexi or Cayla at the front. If you are an experienced agent that needs 33 hours of CE, you can get that by attending Ignite also. So you might want to check rec and see how many hours you need. That's a great way to get it done. It is a night class. It's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, Thursday, 6 to 9, and a Saturday for the most part, 10 to 1. One day it's 12 to 3.
And last but not least, we do have continuation of Stump the Megas. We will have Rich Richardson, and he will be joining us this month, so you definitely don't want to miss that.
And for the top 20% on Tuesday, September 17th from 10 to 12, the invitation will be going out this afternoon. Justin Landis will be here to talk about breaking through ceilings. All righty, come on down. Hutch, Chris, Alexis, and Cayla.
Sorry.
Come on down. Into your command info session.
This is me, right?
Yeah, the tallest one.
Okay, the tallest one.
Yes, you can push it down.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put myself up.
Woo,
yes.
So we thought it'd be a good idea, since we're teaching so many command classes, to kind of go a little bit back to the basics. Let me introduce Hutch Morrone. He is our Rawls Group Director of Innovation. Okay, so he is the point in which all of this information is stemming to the market centers within the Rawls Group. Chris Yates is an agent in our office. He is our Assistant Director of Innovation. So he will be coming into the Market Center and teaching classes on Tuesdays from... Thursdays from when to when?
It's usually, it'll be in the afternoon in between the two streams.
Okay, in between the two streams on
Tech Thursdays for September and October.
Okay, okay. And then, you know, Alexis, she has taught several command classes, and Cayla is our tech extraordinaire on the leadership team. So I wanted Hutch to come in to kind of give you an overview like he did for the ALC the other day, which was really impactful. So I'm going to turn it over to Hutch real quick and let him start off. And then it's kind of a Q&A. Any questions you have, this is the team to ask.
Right.
No pressure. Sorry.
Right. So my name's Hutch Morrone. I came to this role because I am an agent in Sandy Springs office. Mike Ray, the team leader over there, and I were talking about technology and this new platform probably October of last year, and I started asking some questions about how Keller Williams International intended to roll out the training. And then when he started to get into it, I started to ask some more questions, look into it a little bit more, and found that predominantly what International was doing was for independent learners. And I had some concerns about that and raised my hand about the whole independent learner platform. I used to work for McDonald's USA. I was a field service consultant in operations there for about 13 years in the field operations department. One of the things I did while I was there is they changed over a bunch of technology, rolled it out to the entire nation, and I was involved with that. And there were some missteps along the way that I got to learn from firsthand. And that independent learning situation didn't exactly pan out as the way they had it. They had great resources. Put a lot of money into some videos and webcasts and all that stuff. But the bottom line is, the average person's a social learner. Kindergarten, first grade, right, all the way through 12, you're in a classroom learning. You have the ability to raise your hand, ask a clarifying question as you go. You don't have to get hung up on something where you don't understand, and then yet on a webcast, right, they just keep moving along. There's no ability to raise your hand, or a video. You're like, hey, wait a minute, they didn't answer this question. I don't know what to do next. According to the NAR, at least, the average real estate agent is college educated, has some level of college. So you've had even more years of social learning where you're able to ask questions. And then on top of it, you add in that, I mean, I don't know, you tell me, how many agents feel that they're an extrovert, perceive that they're an extroverted person, right? That your temperament leans towards the outgoing side. You're a D or an I, okay? That tends to be the temperament of the average agent. Again, social learning environment. So here we were, we had this great new platform, which I understood, but there was no social learning element. And that's kind of how I fell into this, because I combined that with that I'd done this before. I really enjoy the training and helping other people aspect of it. And then Mike and I talked a little further. He was like, well, can you develop it? Because there was no workshops. There was nothing we could go and grab and go from KWI at the time. And so that's what I was working on, silently in a little hole in the ground somewhere, eating fig leaves and stuff all by myself late at night, coding. Yeah. I worked on presentation decks, practice for after the class. What are the handouts going to look like? What's a workshop look like? We went through a few rotations of this at Sandy Springs, and I was able to refine it. And quite frankly, a lot of functionalities dropped. So it's evolved because to account for the additional functionality of the platform. So I think what she was talking about with my draw, so I'm a big drawer. So the other component of it was what I was experiencing in some of the market centers that I was in contact was that they were rolling out training and workshops for it as functionality dropped. Oh, well, this works, so let's train on that. And then when they saw the next functionality drop, they would train on that. And then they keep going, and it was kind of a linear progression, right? The reality is, when it comes to technology, is it's an adoption process, okay? 2.5%, the innovators, they just do it on their own. They don't care if something works or doesn't work. It's new, so they want to try it, okay? So they'll try it out on their own. The next group, 13.5%, are your early adopters. Early adopters are generally kind of the higher profile influencers. So they're the people who they would like to try something new, but they need some assurance that it works, because the reality is if it doesn't, they don't want to be seen as being wrong. If they're going to talk to other people about it, they want to know that it's right and ready. The next two groups are where we get the majority. These two groups are your early mid, or your early mid adopters and your late majority. Early majority, late majority. Okay? They will not, this next group will not adopt until this group says it's okay to do it. And then once this group does, that's when this group will adopt. Because by now you can see, when you add up these percentages, you've started to hit a point where it's a lot of people are using it. It's normal to use it. These were people that stuck with their flip phone or their BlackBerry for a long time after iPhone was out, right? They're like, I got a BlackBerry, it works. I can't send pictures to anybody like that iPhone, right? But that's my BlackBerry. I love it. I'm not giving it up. That's this group here. So many people had adopted an iPhone. They're like, darn it. You know, it was hard to get a BlackBerry. And then you have the last group over here, laggards. For whatever reason, and some of them are legit reasons, right? Like, putting it in real estate terms, I got a couple years left in this business and I'm retiring. I just have no interest in adopting a different platform. I'm not looking ahead for the future. I want to finish out my last couple of years. Laggards tend to think that something new is not good, right? It's not that they need to be proven it. They like the old ways. So they're just not going to pick it up. And that's okay. Like I said, it's not a stigma being in this group. They just, you'll know who they are because they still got a flip phone. You know who that group is. They're like, I'm not giving up my flip phone. I'm not doing it. Interestingly, you can't look at this all in one, you can't look at too far ahead or too far behind when it comes to technology adoption, okay? If you do that, you fall into kind of a trap. It has to be right for you and for your business, and that's when you'll adopt. People adopted an iPhone when it was right for them. So if you said, Hutch, does command work? I could ask you the same thing. Does your iPhone work? You say yes, right? Yes, it works. It works for you. But every year, there's a new iPhone, right? And every month, there's a new update. Does that mean it doesn't work because it's getting updated? It works enough for you. There could be somebody holding out over here. Like, I'll just wait until that iPhone works, and then I'll get one. Interestingly, when iPhones first came out, the CEO of RIM, who made the BlackBerry, said, nobody cares if they send pictures or not. It's overrated. That's what happened. He was too far. He was looking into. He was too far in the past, right? There was not enough in the present. And if they had stayed in the present and watched the adoption rate of the iPhone, they would have added the pictures part. But they were just so convinced it wasn't going to happen. Based on the past and predicting the future based on the past, there wasn't enough time in the present. And that's what's going on with the technology right now. So the thing is, as these different groups adopt, and I mean, this isn't to say, oh, tomorrow, 34%. This group's, we're at 14%, so 34 is going to pick it up tomorrow. People from this group are going to adopt within a reasonable time frame, so we have the need for ongoing classes that repeat themselves, right? We need to get agents from A to M-ish over and over again every month. We're always going to have new agents coming in. They need to learn it. We're always going to have agents somewhere along this continuum. They need to adopt it. So that's what I came up with. It's a series of classes that repeat themselves, and that's what Chris is going to be taking care of. And then I got the benefit, or I have the benefit now of, I have people like Chris at each of the market centers who can then give feedback and help make the training program better. Because I don't believe, there was just nothing, right? There was kind of nothing at first, so I developed the workshops, but now actually having a team, because each of the market centers has somebody, now we're getting feedback from everybody in this market center. So I only had the 550 at my market center, and really the 30 or so that were in that first rotation, right? The 25 that were in the next rotation. That's the feedback. But now that we've opened this up and expanded the program, there's the opportunity for us to learn and make the training better for you over and over again. But there's already videos out there, how-to videos. I have a channel. A lot of the Keller Williams videos were very high level, right? So they were basically like, you go into command, you hit create a contact, you enter all the information it asks for, create contact. They didn't tell you what a tag was. That video doesn't tell you how to create a custom field. What's the difference between a custom field and tagging? Why bother tagging anybody? These were the value adds that were missing on the video. The things that needed to be answered for you as agents to be able to really use the platform in a way that was going to help you grow your business. And that's what I started adding in. And sometimes had to go to subject matter experts on it. I mean, there's definitely an agent in the room that knows more about Canva and designing something and the why of a marketing than I do. And so we love that kind of feedback. Hey, you know what else you could do? You could do this. Great idea. I'll pass it on in the training. So the training's more than just pushing buttons in command to get something to happen. There's some coaching and sharing that happens in that social environment. And then when I see that sharing, we're able to capture it and cascade it to the entire Rawls group. So that, again, we all up our game all at once. Chris, you have anything? I'm just going to put you on the spot. Just because I got put on the spot before, so I was just sitting over there.
What a tag is.
Yeah, exactly. What is a tag?
No, I mean, his stuff has been great. I'm kind of like you guys are. I mean, he's an agent as well, but he's been immersed in this, like you said, his bunker coding and stuff. I wasn't. So I've been playing with it just like you have. I've been scouring YouTube and things like that to get more information when it's not available. I've sent out, texts and stuff to labs to try to get more information. So I'm just like you guys. I don't know how many people from here. When I was in First Atlantis 5 years ago, when E-Edge came out, the same thing happened. The idea of somebody getting an electronic signature and uploading a document, it was like the French Revolution in that office. They're like, are you out of your mind? I'm not doing that. I mean, going through compliance, trying to find out what timestamp the signature had, so it was actually under contract, going through compliance for that, it was a nightmare. Now you guys, a lot of you guys don't want to give up dot loop. DocuSign's way easier than dot loop ever was. So, technology is continuously to change and evolve and get better. And his iPhone analogy is exactly perfect. I mean, what are we on? Version 11 now?
This year?
I mean, that's crazy. I want the iPhone 1. I'm sure it'd be really cool. It's like this thick.
Yeah, it's like this thick with a battery.
So, I've got some more training to do with Hutch, but we're gonna get everybody here, I'm still available for questions. If I don't know the answer right away, I will get the answer to you. And like you said, I've had some more advanced questions about some things than I have about how to create a field. So just feel free. We'll get my text and email and everything out there. But text is probably the best way to get hold of you if you have an immediate question. So, but I'm sure these folks have more experience now than I do.
Oh goodness, no. So you guys know me, obviously. Alexis from the Barnes Young team. I am a tech ambassador here at the office, which is just a fancy way of saying I know some stuff about the command and you can ask me questions if you want. I don't know everything about command, like following these two. I feel a little bit small all of a sudden, but I am very excited about what it's going to do. And I guess, do we want to do Q&A
Cayla.
Y'all know Cayla.
We know Cayla. I am in the command platform just like everyone else. I am learning it. I am utilizing every resource that I have, the live streams, the Facebook groups that I am a part of, the KW Command. I think they actually just changed the name of it. But in those groups, they ask a lot of questions that I would not have thought of, or I would have not known was broken. And then things are broken sometimes. So in those groups, it's good to see what's not working and what has just gotten better just from us asking those questions. So I do highly suggest joining the Facebook groups.
Absolutely.
Great.
I have 2 questions actually.
Sure.
Or rather, one, you guys mentioned there's a bunch of Facebook groups. Would it be possible to send out an email to all of us with the links to the different Facebook groups? We can choose to join the ones we want.
And the biggest one's Cayla you made.
Right. And then the other question is, Hutch, you said you've made training videos for your office. Is it possible for us to get links to?
Yeah, we're cascading it all.
Your videos?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a channel. I mean, it's you go to YouTube, it's Command, Tech Enabled, Culture Driven. That seems long, right? Tech Enabled, Culture Driven. It's a unique hashtag. So it's nowhere, when you search that hashtag, only the material related to this training for the Ross Group comes up. So I did intentionally make it a little longer. But go YouTube, Command, Tech Enabled, Culture Driven, and you'll see a little lab puppy. That's how you'll know. You'll always know my stuff because it has a lab puppy. So our stuff's always under that. But yeah, those videos are meant to supplement the actual training. But if you are an independent learner, the way the videos are set up is it's 2, 3, 4 minutes on one task. Shows you how to do it. Then you can stop the video and just do that a few times in Command and then go to the next video. They're set up in order and like a progression. So you get an introduction and then how to step by step in order.
And these are the same things that Alexis is going to be doing, but in a live version?
Yeah, the workshop, these follow the workshops. Mm-hmm. So the expectation that you're going to come to a workshop on technology and remember everything that you learned is, I think, a little unreasonable. But on the other hand, imagine if we recorded a 2-hour workshop and we posted that up and you had to go through 2 hours worth of material to find an answer to one question. So if you forgot what Chris told you about mass texting, you just go to the video on how to set up a mass text, and now instead of 2 hours, you get a video of 4 minutes, about how to set up a mass text. I think that made more sense for most people, where you can search by subject.
The other thing about the classes are, it's not, I don't want to say it's not hands-on, but it's not so much we're going to stop every 2 seconds, we're going to walk you through how to do everything. It's, it really is overview stuff, an idea of what you've got to do. You're supposed to kind of take on that task yourself. It's hard to do a 2-hour class. We can do a 2-hour class on how to create a contact.
Which we've done.
Yeah, and all the stuff that goes with that.
I, for the last probably 4 months, have been trying to sync e-edge into Command, ask for help, do tickets, all that jazz. I still have not been able to do that.
Doesn't work all the time. That's why. So what happened was it's not you.
I know.
It's Command and e-edge reliably synced for about 2 months, and then all of a sudden something started to happen on the e-edge side. But basically around the time that we had wide exposure, that we were launching our own CRM and discontinuing our relationship with them, the problem started on their side. I keep that link open and it does work most of the time. So if you open that link, if you open that sync, it'll work.
Do you know
from time to time.
Something about the sync on your settings page?
In Command?
Yeah.
Command?
Yes, because it's done it many times.
Yeah, just keep that. Yeah.
Just leave it open.
Leave it open.
But for some, just
make sure it's connected. Make sure it says connect and it's open.
And just leave it.
And just leave it.
And you might wake up one morning and all of a sudden it's all there. Because there was a window of time where it did sync. It's not a reliable solution to run them though in tandem like that, because it doesn't work sometimes. So and we have no control of that at Labs. It's always happening on the e-edge side.
If you
So maybe it syncs at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
So if
it'll
it's
sync.
open, it'll sync.
Yeah, it's supposed to sync, you know, ideally the sync will happen every 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
It's on the
whatever.
KW side, so it's on the Jeff side.
So when it actually syncs, then you just convert over to command and you know it's there and you trust it'll always be there and that's where you continue working?
You could. Yeah. You could turn off the sync at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about if you want to run eEdge and command at the same time to make the transition, I would not rely on that sync. If it's a one-time deal, open it up, it'll all come in at some point, and then I would shut it down. Shut it down and then start working in command.
But until then, we have to work in eEdge every day, and so that's going to be open.
Yeah.
And then,
You don't have to, but if you are in eEdge, you like it,
well, we wanted to be in command. We were totally jazzed about that. But like I said, that was 4 months ago. The jazz is worn off.
it'll help you. It'll help you. I mean, if you want to try command, you know, once you get some exposure to it, if you're like, okay, it does what I want it to do, what I need. If you come to the whole, and everybody has to make this decision, right? If the command does what I need it to do now, he will help you get contacts set over. There's a way to do it. He will do that. Sorry.
So I know you. We went from MailChimp to MailJet. Are you guys gonna have videos on how to make campaigns? Because I'm struggling with that. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I talked to a couple people. So yeah.
MailChimp was the integration. Now it's MailJet.
When did that happen?
Happened like a month and a half ago or so.
Wait, what do you think?
So to answer your question, no campaigns yet because we haven't expanded the relationship. It's only the automation right now, the neighborhood nurtures and stuff that go out through MailJet. Okay? So that happened about a month and a half ago because MailChimp changed all of their pricing and can't even explain to us or anybody what their pricing looks like right now. So they apparently are trying to become a CRM company themselves that has email campaigns, and they are confused on their own pricing, but basically told us that they may or may not charge our agents. So we said, no. If you can't tell us what you're going to charge, when, and how, then no. And we made an emergency contract with MailChimp or MailJet that will get your neighborhood nurtures and other smart plan emails out, but we're not designing campaigns in it until we actually have a formal agreement with an email provider like Constant Contacts or somebody.
And you'll let us know when that is.
Oh yeah.
Surprise.
So or the team, can you guys give us kind of the 25,000 foot view of what features are kind of humming right now? Because it seems like there are some things that are working really well, and there's some that are still in development, right? And it's always progress. So can you give us kind of like a quick little overview of what's really working well and what we should be focusing on? And didn't mean to put anybody on the spot.
Well, you've had
Great question.
a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. Thank you. But it's I guess it's going to depend on your business. But I think the first thing is that if you don't have contacts in there, you're not going anywhere. So, and then we have opportunities, which should be your next major thing, because that's how you're going to get paid. So everybody get excited. The glitter is back on. Woo! But we really do need to get contacts in there and get them in there properly. So as Ronnie was talking about eEdge and not being able to sync, and don't let that stop you. There is a way to get your contacts in there, and if you are ready to set up opportunities, any of us will make ourselves available because we know how important it is. So please, please, please focus contacts first, opportunities second, because those are the things that have to work right now. And then if you are beyond that, wow, good job, because there are so many people who aren't there yet.
And that's what, I think that's when the individual. If you've gone beyond that, there's individual stuff you can do on your own to kind of play with all the bells and whistles. I mean, again, the most important thing is get your contacts over. Right? And then if they're over, great, clean it up, get ready to do your deals. You know, the other thing is that September 15th is the transition. After that, that's no more dot loop stuff. We're transitioning on over. Now,
Well, it's up to you guys. I don't know what you decided in this marketing center. We are extending .loop accounts, but I don't know when you are doing compliance in here. When are you guys doing compliance?
I have to check with Erin. She had said September 15th. I believe it's being extended because we're still waiting for GAR and yeah.
Right.
This
but compliance.
Yeah. So this only affects you.
I think
from any deals you
it.
do from the 16th going forward. Is that when that idea affects you? I mean, your stuff you already got in .loop, it's there. It's going forward that you've got to be able to do compliance with other stuff.
Chris, one other follow-up question. When did Hutch talk about the A through M classes? When are you starting A?
So I got one more training session with Hutch before I can actually start them. But I was here for the opportunities class when it was even there are more people in that class than we have here.
And the agents were streaming it throughout.
Yeah, so we've got stuff going on. We've got another. I saw there's another opportunity you said on the 14th.
We've got another opportunities class coming. That's on the calendar. Every single week we will have something. So we're going to be touching base on this program that Hutch has created and that Chris is going to be helping us implement. However, no matter what, there's always going to be a tech piece. And just as they were saying, those database classes, the contacts classes, will continue to replay. So if you sat in one and you're like, listen, it just completely went over my head, come into another one. And by the same token, we've actually been recording them and they're on the Peachtree Road YouTube channel. If you don't know how to access that, feel free to come ask myself or Cayla or Lexi. We'll help you find it and we can even send that out again. So no matter where you are in the process, how fast or how much extra time you need, we will help you with that. The main thing is that you've got the stellar team of people who are here in place to make sure that we're helping you move forward.
Yeah, and those live stream classes we talked about earlier, they're awesome too. I mean, they're a great supplement to what we're going to be doing. I mean, there's no way you cannot get started. If you keep trying to wait until it's perfect.
It's like a house that's mostly built out, that's carpentry work to be done. Are there smart plans that are automated available for you today that you can literally add to a contact with a click of the button? Yes. And then the neighborhood nurtures. So the neighborhood nurture is the gold standard of value-added email for your client list right now, right? Zillow does it, Trulia does it. If you've ever gone on Zillow and looked in the same area more than once, you are likely getting an email right now that targets the zip code that you're normally looking in from Zillow. They just know because you go back there all the time. So they're updating you based on the zip code. Our neighborhood nurture is based on Nextdoor.com's database of neighborhoods. So we're the only company that can drill down to an actual neighborhood. Hutch, what about a custom smart plan? I want to make up my own. Not available yet, coming in early October, mid-October-ish, okay? So it's like the build out of what's most important is there for you in that area. It's lacking the customization. If you want to make a postcard to mail out, you can do that. You can design a postcard based on a few hundred templates we have. Can you customize one from scratch? No. But you can make one, design it through the templates, put your home and your information in there, and the mass mailer is connected. So you can literally mail it through direct mail, and it's ready now. Mass texting is ready. So whatever percentage that looks like in your mind, but for most people and their business, it's probably there.
As well as social media.
Yeah, you can advertise on, you can design and start a campaign on social media through command right now. Does not include Instagram though, but you could do Facebook and Twitter, right? We're working with Instagram. It's funny. Facebook, right, owns Instagram, but the rules are totally different. You have to come to the agreement with both of them, and their developers and those people, they know, they protect their platform because they know what a gold mine they have. It's not lost on them that like, hey, this Facebook thing's kind of popular. Like, they understand what they have. So they're particular when they hash out these agreements. And Instagram was used to operating independently for so long, they're a little bit more particular, so it's a little harder to come to terms. One of my best friends has an app that feeds social media campaigns, and he has to work with these groups all the time. So I hear about the intricacies behind the scenes all the time about these groups. But it's coming, you know? I mean, imagine you can design and initiate a campaign and it just runs on Facebook for you. And when you get a lead, it just feeds back into Command. The lead just pops up in Command. You can track all the metrics, you can run multiple campaigns, and then boom, there's your lead.
I think they started a big thing on Facebook Friday about it. Every KW agent on Command was running Facebook ads.
Yeah, they actually shut it down. They exposed the weakness. We have a central KW account nationwide, and nobody noticed that the limit was like 20,000 ads or something. So we actually hit the 20,000 ad limit nationwide. That was good. We exposed the flaw, so we immediately had to go back to Facebook and be like, we need more. We need more advertising.
Yeah. But just to follow up on Doug's initial question about phases and such, I feel like KW is being very strategic about how they're rolling out updates. So things like smart plans, things like tags, things like filters for your contacts are there for your lead gen. Opportunities is there to close your business. These are the important things that they're doing first. And while, yeah, you're not going to be able to create your own marketing campaign in MailChimp yet, if we focus on how they're rolling it out, and if you're on some of these Facebook pages, you'll really see and be able to kind of take in how they're getting there. That's a really good kind of way to look at it. Business first, fun stuff second. Not how I do it, but that's how they're doing it. So.
The bright shiny objects are distractors. That's why we run this. You'll see when he starts it, the way that these workshops are structured are, we explain the why behind the tech platform, then start getting your database set up to be imported. But before you do it, be intentional. What tags are you going to use? What custom fields do you need for your business? Okay? And there are thought starters for that. You're setting up in opportunities what your stages are going to be, what checklists go with those stages. Like, what do you do now when it comes to a lead comes in, and getting those in there so the command is set up, because it's very tempting once you get in there to go, ooh, I just want to create a Facebook ad. But I'll give you an example. Even before Command came out, I run a Facebook ad just about awareness to my friends. Now I can use Command to add my clients in, people I'm not necessarily friends with on Facebook. I add all my clients in, and I can run an awareness campaign just to people I know. Friends, family, and past clients. And I get people coming to me all the time, they're like, Hutch, you're all over Facebook. And I laugh. I'm all over Facebook. I'm all over your Facebook. You're not all over Facebook. Why? Because I want to that's my sphere. I want to be that number one agent in their mind when they come to investing, buying, selling a home, right? But now, if you set up Command properly and have all your contacts in there, and that list is clean, you can leverage it properly. But if you don't have a clean list, you have all these odds and ends, Joe the mechanic or Bob emoji face, whatever, because you just brought it all over from your phone, you didn't clean it up, or from Google Contacts, you just synced it but put no time into cleaning up your contact list. You're wasting money. Your advertising won't be as effective when you do it.
And that will happen when you bring your contacts over.
If you don't clean it up.
I have like 15 Amandas. I have no idea who I'm in.
Yeah. And some of them don't like you anymore. So how do you just let them know where you are, how to find you?
I dare you to call them all.
Hey, Amanda, forgot how we met.
Right. Who are you?
John.
All right, so I got two questions. When is E-Edge going to be done, like, for good? Oh, it isn't? Okay, good.
Not necessarily that it won't ever phase out, but yeah, I just don't have the answer.
So my next question is, when I connect my E-Edge to my Command, and since there's no campaigns in Command, and I add a contact in E-Edge, would it automatically transfer to Command since I already connected it? Does that make sense?
So does it sync automatically?
I sync the E-Edge to Command. Every time you add an E-Edge, it goes to Command.
Thank you.
The way PodSync works, it should. It should. Yes, it should.
Okay.
Yeah. That's, again, it involves some due diligence on your part.
Yeah, to make sure it's
PodSync's more reliable than the direct E-Edge connection when it comes to those two. PodSync's
Of course, you get the first one for free. After that, you got to pay.
This is a bit of an intro question, but we have a team of 4 agents.
Woohoo, teams!
Yeah. Separate databases, which means separate sphere of influence. What is the most efficient way to upload those contacts?
Rainmaker. Who's your Rainmaker?
Debbie.
Everything should go into her first, unless this has changed. But that so far has been the wisdom on my side as far as my experience, and also from the Facebook pages and the admin pages that I've been in. Rainmaker gets upload them all to the Rainmaker, and you can have them upload their own into their own if they want to operate out of there. So if you have agents and you guys are actually operating in command and you want them to be able to affect things, you can do it that way. But right now the Rainmaker is the best source because they're not syncing all together right now.
Okay, and the contacts won't lose their designated agent?
You're gonna have to tag them.
Yeah.
So I would do it in phases, and we can kind of go into this later if you want as a sidebar, but for teams in general, I've been doing them in phases as to who the contact belongs to. So on my team, I have 3 agents. Jennifer's contacts went in first, and then we did Dawn's, and then we did Aaron's, and they are all tagged appropriately so that nobody gets lost when we do end up being able to divide them out and have everybody have their own login.
Gotcha.
I have a question, piggybacking on that, Alexis.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, don't you, isn't there some toggle button, once you tag them all, they go under Jennifer, but you've got to also share them, like if Dawn's operating under Dawn, she'll be under the team.
Right.
But in order to see her database, you've got to share them from Jennifer to Dawn.
Correct.
All right.
But right now, I don't feel like the functionality is 100%.
Yeah.
No offense.
No.
But
So you're not doing
so
it yet.
that has not. But
I
yes,
didn't
you
make
will,
that.
and you will be able to have ownership eventually that you can assign. Right now, you can't. So it's automatic when they're uploaded. It's all right now. All of our contacts are owned by Jen. But eventually, you will be able to distinguish, and you'll also be able to turn them on and off and give permissions.
Okay.
The target for all of that is mid-October-ish, that team functionality drops. In fact, they're going to classify all individual agents. Basically, you will all be able to add an admin, and 2 admins really, because it'll follow the MREA model. Individual agent, level 2, you have an admin, level 3, you have 2 admin, then level 4 buyer's agent. So then at that point, you'll be classified as a team. So individual agents by October are supposed to be able to add admins, which you can't right now unless they classify you as a group or a team. You don't necessarily want that because numbers comparison wise, it throw things off at the market center level. And then on the team, you'll be able to individually upload your sphere, each agent, and then it's up to the team leader, the Rainmaker, whether or not whoever the Rainmaker is, can dictate whether or not they have to expose all of those to the team. Any leads that come in through the team are under the Rainmaker's name, and then if the Rainmaker shuts off that team member's access, everything they were fed disappears, but they keep their sphere. And then they can work in their sphere. Right now, they can do it is if they have their name and the team's name up top. They click the team's name, they see all the contacts. If they click their name, they see just theirs. But that has not been clean. That's what it's supposed to do. That has not been clean, which is why a lot of teams have opted to just feed everything in through the Rainmaker and then share back to the team members because they've been unhappy with. They're shutting off and rerouting things all the time right now. Also by October, the Rainmaker will get to designate what permissions each job has. So you have an admin, they'll have certain permissions. Rainmaker will dictate that. It won't be dictated by KWRI. So you'll have a buyer's agent who on some teams a buyer's agent can list homes. On other teams, no. The unique thing about real estate for designing software like this is that if this was IBM, each role is clearly defined and you can take their position up. In real estate, teams all pick and choose what that admin can do. My admin's been with me for 15 years. I'm going to give them full permission. I trust them with my children. They babysit for me, those sorts of things. Other people are like, hey, I have high turnover for my admin, and they're new, and I'm training them, and I want more narrow permissions for now, and I'll expand that as they stay with me over the course of time. KWRI has to reroute every single button. Every button in command has to be given a permission and tied to a position. But they're doing it right now, and they expect to deliver mid-October is what they keep saying. And they've said that on 2 conference calls now, so I'm starting to believe it. Like on the 3rd, 4th one, I'll actually believe that they haven't forgotten about that. But yeah, I'm starting to believe it now.
Is there anything new about agent websites?
Still, sometime prior to October 1st, we're supposed to get exposure to our websites and be able to go in, do the customization in time for that October 1st placer goes away. And then ours will be up and running and connected to Command. So that's another thing. Not that you won't be able to connect it someplace else, but it's by default going to connect to Command. So when the consumer app drops, it's going to be connected to Command by default. So all this stuff starts working together, and the platform is optimized to work together. You start routing it to other CRMs, that's just, you're going to get like kind of less training, less support, less likely to work. You'll be relying on, kind of independent contractors that you can hire and make sure that stuff gets routed properly and it works all the time. And KW won't be able to support you on that because they don't, they're not going to support some other CRM.
Anybody else questions? Yes. Okay.
Mine is more for the getting paid in Command. So is that like your first step for compliance? But is that where we connect our DocuSign and all of that?
Yes. That is the class you want to take
Thursday.
Alexis, when have you put all the contacts in? You said you
For the most part, yes.
So did you go through wherever you were housing it before and clean it all up and put whatever tags and stuff that you wanted in there, or did you?
I love that question. Yes, with some caveats. So yes, and so I went through. We were in Wise Agent, which is its own little barrel of monkeys. Yeah. So spouses are fun. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I did go through and I downloaded our CSV file and cleaned it, and we took most of our tags out and rerouted people to I think we have 12 tags total. Okay, and some of them are system tags already in Command, so like buyer, seller, etc. And a couple of them are unique, but I had to make that decision pretty early on, and it was very scary, so I get everybody's hesitation, but it has helped dramatically when actually uploading to the system, because tags are difficult. But if you clean them up and you minimize them, they're a lot.
I want to get rid of a lot of them.
Yes. Okay. So like buyer, seller, 2016, 2017, pumpkin patch, 2018, Christmas party, get rid of that. Like, just delete it. Because you're going to hate yourself.
Mine was so much worse than that. I tagged everything, exactly. Right-handed.
Yeah.
Where's that come in, right? Oh, in case I wanted to buy my baseball glove, I know. Why did I ever put that? I've come across these tags, I couldn't even remember.
So it definitely sounds like right now, fundamentals is what's the most important thing. We're talking about contacts and talking about opportunities. Don't get too crazy in what's happening right now. Get your business in order, set your foundation.
Yeah.
So if you've already gotten your contacts over, you pulled your contacts over from eEdge, but you don't have any tags, are you going to have to go through each individual contact to add them? Or how does that happen? I mean, obviously
you can bulk add 50 at a time.
Yeah, you can bulk them.
50 at a time.
If you know how you can sort them that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's say you've got your sphere or past seller list. You can kind of go through and pick those up to 50 at a time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Bulk tag.
Yeah, bulk tag.
But
or you do it on the front. You can remove it and start all over.
Yeah, you can wipe. If you still have the import sheet you used, you can wipe the database and then go and do it all in the CSV and then bring it in. It's a lot easier kind of to sort and copy and paste and do all of that at that point.
Right.
Just make sure it's a comma space than the next tag. Even the last tag, comma.
Yeah. So it definitely sounds like just focusing on this now is certainly going to help you get to be in that 13.5%. So by the time all this other stuff comes around, you can focus on the next phase, which is the bells and whistles and the toys that can help maybe grow your business to a different level.
Right. Again, it's the red book. It's basically what it is. It's basically start with the same thing, same concept, and go from there.
I just want to be clear on something. if you get on this platform, when that consumer app drops, if that consumer app delivers at 90% of what they're promising, it is going to be very sticky with people. And the agents who get that into their sphere's hands, it's going to be hard for people in your sphere to give it up, okay? You guys are contending with it right now. How many times do you try to get them to use that FMLS app or something else, and they just keep sending you Redfin and Zillow pictures, right? I mean, half the time you're like, you sent them the picture. They send it back to you in Redfin. You're like, it's part of your list. Look at this. The FMLS app. I mean, it was on there, but then they give you the pic, and they're like, what about this one? Wait. If this delivers the way, even at close to the high level they say, it ties them to you through command. If you try to share that app, you don't have their contact and command doesn't know who that person is using the app and everything. You're going to get login and emails and stuff. You're going to do a lot of backtracking. There are agents who are going to take advantage of that app coming out too, and they're going to be running ads and trying to get people to sign up on them. They're going to be adding agents on their team to make those phone calls and those connections instantly and stuff. So the way Bobby Moats from Labs put it, he's the director of Labs, he says it's like an airplane taking off, right? We're all going to the same destination, but there's a bunch of agents who are ready to get onto that first plane. And when the consumer app drops, that's the first plane. All the agents on, they all get to take off. There'll be other planes. You'll be able to catch it, but you'll never catch up to the first group, okay? It's just like anything else that's new. Zillow, the first adopters of Zillow, when agents first started advertising on that, they did the best. It's been diminishing returns ever since on those kinds of things. There's a lot, there's 100 other ways our business has evolved. The early adopters were the ones who took, real advantage of it, so. That connectivity, website, consumer app and stuff, that first plane leaves basically when that consumer app drops.
When you enter a contact into command, so if I was going to do the minimum, can I just do email and cell phone number? Do you really need you can't do it if you don't have the address, or do I have to look up
name, email, cell phone number?
Yeah, name.
But you're saying you'd still be successful without having their address?
If you do not have their address, you cannot send them that neighborhood nurture, which is the gold standard of value-added email. When I say gold standard, what I mean is that is the email that gets opened the most by consumers. It has the highest open and click-through rate. If you're not sharing that email, then and it's just and I don't want to diminish this, but a monthly newsletter, right? Say you have a monthly newsletter. The click-through rate on that is way lower than these neighborhood nurtures because everybody wants to know their home's value. That's the Z estimate. We all talk about how inaccurate it is. You know why Zillow doesn't care? Because consumers revisit their website 3 to 4 times a year just to see the home's value. And they don't care that it's exactly right. What do they care about? What's going on? It's a wealth effect thing that people are looking for. That's the neighborhood nurture idea, right? We're going to do it just to their neighborhood rather than zip code. We're going to be able to give them, this is your neighborhood's growing. Here's what's for sale. So yes, you could. You could just do a name and an email address at a minimum. But what we've been talking about is starting at the beginning and filling all that up. I've had several agents, and Bobby Moats from Labs again, he recommended it. He has a large team, and they did this. They literally went through their entire database and called everybody to make sure that that was still somebody worth marketing to, staying connected with, that person just basically hadn't dropped off the face of the planet. They got emails from them. They filled in home addresses. They did all of it, went through their whole database and did it. It was a great time to reconnect. Yeah. It's just you're spending, you're making calls every day with intentionality. Start calling your database and filling in the information. There's an opportunity. That's what I ended up doing. I ended up going back and getting rid of, right-handed tags and actually replacing it with legit stuff like, Georgia Tech, soccer, Atlanta United, things that they really had fishing, things that what their favorite teams were, their alma mater, what they really cared about, children. Created a custom field for children, so I had that information readily available, Bobby, 9 years old, plays lacrosse. So that when I called, I could say, how's Bobby doing with lacrosse? It's far more effective than, do you need a right-handed glove? That was about.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Helpful?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Are we gonna have a DocuSign class here? Or how do we, is that like on our own, or?
That was a part of our last opportunities class. Were you here? So that was a part of it, and I imagine the next one will have that too. I believe it's the 14th. I believe the next one's the 14th, and we can check the calendar and confirm. But it was a part of that, so hopefully we'll be able to kind of get in there.
I mean, it's way simpler than Dotloop ever was. I mean, way. You know, it's very self-explanatory.
Can we log in?
Yeah, you can log in. If you've ever done a deal with somebody, another agent there, you already have an account.
Yeah.
If you already have an account, you can link that to your command now. As Terrence learned. So, you know, you can go in and you can create an account and start.
Have you guys opened them on markets? The MCA, has it opened the accounts yet here?
Yes, you all should have received an email how to activate your DocuSign account. It was sent out last month.
Yeah.
So go in there. I believe it was sent out on the 14th of last month.
23rd.
23rd. Thank you.
Yeah.
So go in there.
Aaron said she's going to resend it.
And yep.
And
She resent it as well.
the last day of the class.
Yeah.
Whatever. We had the opportunity class. So the link is in your email if you want that in-depth how to get your DocuSign activated. So check your email so you guys can get in there.
You got to put your profile picture in there anyway, and some of your personal information. There'll be no GAR forms in it yet, but you know, I went in, set it up, made sure it was all, you know, branded to me in the way I want it. Tested the links out. You know, I have already uploaded some forms, and when I upload a form to a room, I can go into command into my opportunity that I created that's connected to that room. The forms do download right from DocuSign. It's just that we don't have form templates in there for you.
So you have to upload them yourself.
You have to upload them yourself, but you could actually start using it and managing your transactions from there if you want. It's going to be more, you know, labor intensive because the forms aren't there and tagged and all of that. So.
But remember, that's how we used to do it. Remember, we used to try to have a whole file of your contract, and you only want to send like 4 pages. Go and create a PDF, and I want to print it out and email 4 pages. That's basically something we're doing. You can't do for temporary fix now.
But you'll have Dotloop to continue working with, where everything is tagged. E-sign, everything's tagged already in our docs. You know.
Does everybody know about the consumer experience app that they keep talking about? The room's really quiet. I'm really nervous.
No, I guess not.
I'm really nervous. Okay, let me ask you that again. Have you seen the video about the consumer experience app that's coming out?
Yes.
We will send it out again today. Look for it in an email. It is mind-blowing what that app is going to do. And when Hutch talked about being sticky, your client's sticking to you like glue. It's an amazing app once it comes out.
Sticky means good.
Yeah, sticky means good.
Yeah, did anyone took that as a negative?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Oh, like, that's
All us marketing gurus up here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So right now, you could create a landing page. I guess you couldn't because it's not attached to the app yet. But once it does come out, you could create a landing page for the app and then advertise that so people will download your app.
Absolutely. You can create a landing page right now. You can't direct it to the app because you don't have the address. But you can create a landing page that plugs into command for all different things that you want in that. It depends on your Facebook advertising. You know, I'd have a different landing page for Facebook and Instagram because I customize based on those target audiences. So I want to optimize their likelihood to actually fill out information. And I don't like necessarily the defaults that Facebook has. But, you know, as far as plug and play, Facebook is, you know, it's fine. You can set up an advertisement, pick whether you want awareness or lead gen. If it's lead gen, they have a landing page for you. Because you created it through command, it automatically feeds in the command. I mean, it's easy, but you could create your own custom landing pages.
Yeah.
I saw on some of the Facebook pages though, there's not like maybe, so let's say you get these people signed up and, you know, from a landing page, there's not like a hot sheet to say here's your hot contacts or what they call it, like a
He's asking if there's some way, like leads come in, if they're being prioritized in some way, shape, or form. No, they're not. Yeah, they're not right now. They come. You've got to go in, and sort it by date and time. Then
But
you
you
know.
know you got if you know you got a lead if you got your Kelly app updated and ready to roll. You get a notification.
Yeah, Kelly will tell you you got a new one.
Lead.
Yeah, so you can call them right away. Yeah.
I mean, they talk to each other. It's really cool. Even from tax standpoint. I mean, it's all integrated. So.
Well, thanks to our panel. We appreciate you so much. Watch on the calendar for the next conference. They're coming. Thank you all.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
That's great too.